So I finished reading this book, Laziness Does Not Exist, and it's a really good book. Um, However, I have a couple of things that I personally didn't like about it. Like one thing in particular, like this so the author chose to end a friendship, which is completely within their right, but this friend was a someone who was suicidal. And while I understand that the author, like Devin Price, like gave them lots of resources, lists of therapists, I kind of wish that they had like called a crisis line or like done something with them. Like, I'm like, you're telling me you're suicidal, I'm going to do this. And like, I also am not a professional. I can't be the person you go to for this. Like, so after this, like, you're in the hands of professionals who can help you, but I can't be the one to do this. So the one thing that kind of like bothered me a little bit. So they talk a lot about that. They talk a lot about like um severing relation, like if we're like, I don't know, cutting ties with people to me is like, it's good if that person is like toxic to you or like bad for you. And I understand why they ended the friendship, and I'm not blaming them, and I think that they were doing like a healthy thing for them, but it still kind of bothered me and it kind of sat with me for a while. But I really did like this book, and it has a lot of like great points in it. Like, you can see where I kind of like fell off with how intensely I was like reading it. Like, I have all these like tabs at the beginning, and then at the end I'm like just listening to the audiobook and like barely taking notes. But they have a lot of like really good points that they make in here, and like, they're not just saying like um they're not just saying laziness does not exist and like in the workplace. They're saying laziness does not exist like at all. Like, you don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to like try to be good at absolutely everything. You don't have to constantly like be doing things like inside, in work, out of work, all of the things. Like, so I really did like this book. I think it was really good at talking about how laziness does not exist. I wish they went a little bit more into how rest is extremely important. Like, they talk about limiting things, like limiting your time on like apps that like they mention like Duolingo, for example. Like, it's gamification of like productivity, and it's something that you choose to do. And they talk about things like that, like limiting your time on certain apps, like limiting your time on social media, like limiting your time with different things. They talk about ways to like reduce and like limit your like time that you're productive versus not, and like having more, making space to have more of that downtime. But I wish they talked a little bit more about not just how your achievements aren't you, um and how you don't have to be everything to everyone and like give 110% to every single relationship that you're in, all of that. Like, I wish they had done a little bit more talk about how just the act of being lazy, like doing nothing, like doing absolutely nothing. And they have in here, there's like one person who says that they're lazy. Like, they say it. It's like towards the beginning of the book. I can't remember exactly where it is. Here it is. Procrastinators. Um so this person says, we're self-proclaimed procrastinators and took it as a badge of honor. It was a counterculture against the strictness of our school. One friend would wait until an hour before class to start a project. Surely procrastination is an unacceptable form of laziness. Procrastinators lack ambition and their work is done in a half-assed last-minute way. So they talk about that a little bit. They talk about people they talk about someone who is unmotivated, learned helplessness. Like they talk a little bit about that, but I wish they talked a little bit more about how it's okay to just do nothing, just rest, just play that video game. Like forget your chores for a week. Like just rest and relax. Like listen to your body and your body's needs and your mind and your mental health needs. Like just rest. So I wish they had talked a little bit more about like the act of being lazy. Like they kind of do, but they still talk about laziness in like I don't know how to say this without like sounding like it's a critique of the book, because the book was really good and I would give it a 5 out of 5 stars. It's really good, really well researched, and they have personal anecdotes as well. But I feel like they talk about laziness within the lens of productivity, if that makes sense. Like they are, it seems like a lot of their friends, like even their friends who aren't like super like publishing books and writing grants and things like that, their friends are just super productive people. And so I feel like it's like I love the book, and I love that they say I agree with the premise, like laziness does not exist. But I wish they had talked a little bit more about the act of laziness, being lazy, doing nothing, resting, and the importance of that for yourself, for your mental health, for your physical health, for your well-being as a whole. But other than that, I would give this book a 5 out of 5. And the thing with the friend kind of bothered me a little bit, but that's okay. That's between them and that friend. Although they put it in this book, so it kind of makes it between them, their friend, and then all of us who are reading this book. But either way, I really like this book. I think it's a good start to my anti-capitalist reading list. My next book that I plan to read is Rest is Resistance, but we'll see if that's the next book I read, because I was planning on reading The Problem with Work next or like first, but I ended up reading this one first. So this one just called to me. So I would recommend it. It's a good read. They have shorter articles on it, and they have like people summarizing it. There's interviews with the author about it, so you can catch that on YouTube or whatever. Or just listen to this review. I don't know, but read it and think for yourself about it. Don't just take my word for it, but yeah, laziness does not exist for sure. Like laziness definitely does not exist. Thanks for watching.